Hi, so I want to give you guys my cheats sheets when it comes to writing an academic essay. So there are a couple of things, a couple of strategies that I use when it comes to writing essays, which I believe is going to be beneficial to you guys, which is why I'm giving you this sheet. So the first thing that I do is I determine what my topic is. This is to say that after I have been given the overall topic of the essay by the instructor, or whatever direction I'm meant to go with that, I then decide what direction that I want to have my topic take. So let's use, for example, let's say the topic is impact of COVID-19 on uh, uh, autism spectrum disorder. Let's use that as an example, and then the direction that I want to go with is as it regards behavioral treatment. So it's still within the general topic, which is COVID 19 and autism spectrum disorder. I'm just trying to look at it from from the direction of behavioral treatments of for autism spectrum disorder within the whole context of COVID 19. So I'm still in keeping with the overall topic. I'm just kind of taking a different direction to it. But because this is behavioral treatment is something that I care about, so that is the direction that I take. So the next thing that I do is I use the search engine, the different search methods for it. I generally prefer to use PubMed for my literature search, but sometimes, which is very unlikely, but sometimes it happens. If PubMed doesn't yield enough articles for me, then I will try Ovid. And if I don't find anything on Ovid, then I will go to Google Scholar. Generally, Google Scholar is not as refined, at least in my experience, when it comes to searching journal articles. It's a little with PubMed and Ovid, they are more methodological than Google Scholar. So I usually use this first before I go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar is when I'm doing exploratory type of literature search. I don't know which direction I want to take, and I just want to see what's out there. That's when I use Google Scholar. But otherwise, if I already have an idea of what it is that I'm trying to know and what kind of thing has been written about it, I generally use PubMed or Ovid. So after I've done my literature search, I generally like to select 5 to 6 papers that most align with my topic. Depending on how, if I'm doing an evaluation, I can go much deeper than 5 to 6 papers. It's usually very little for an evaluation. It may be fine to do with description. If you're just asked to describe something, but if you're doing a critical analysis or evaluation, 5 to 6 is usually too small. But let's go with 5 to 6 papers, and I look those papers that most align with my topic or the direction I want to go. The next thing that I do is to skim through their reference list. The reason why I skim through the reference list is because the people who wrote that article referenced other people, and the people that they reference has to be along that same direction, which means that it's going to be easier for me to look at that reference list to see what else has been written about what it is that I want to write about, rather than going to go and look afresh. So I'm going to use an example right now. This is 3 articles that I pulled out that is looking at behavioral treatments for autism spectrum disorder during COVID 19. So, this is the article. This is the first article. It talks a lot of things. And then I go and I look at the reference list. So, I can read through this reference list and decide, okay, this person's mental health interventions for parent carers of children with this. Okay, I want to like this, and so instead of going to look for do my literature search or maybe PubMed or Ovid, I just select here. And then I will go to Google Scholar, because Google Scholar is very good at this. When you just copy and paste, Google Scholar will generally just pull it out for you. So I found an additional paper by finding from the reference list. So that's how that bit goes. It's not opening. What's going on with my PDF? Okay, so allow selection. Okay, so now I have my fourth paper, and I got my fourth paper without having to do find out information from a literature search. All I did was to go to the reference list and pull up the paper. So you can do that. You can start with your five or six or a few papers, and then go into the reference list of the ones that you selected, and then you have another look to see, you may find interesting papers from those reference lists, and then add those to your your arsenal of papers that you want to use. So the other one is I draft my paper by copying and pasting from those papers the original six, which is in this case, there would be the three that I started with, my original three papers. And I do that by as well as the additional. So if I'm trying to draft this paper, I have my original three papers and I have the additional, which, like you remember, I got that from the one of the papers. So I have four papers. This is where I'm getting my information. So I generally, what I do is I skim through the paper, see the information that they're talking about, pick which part of the paper that I think best help me in making my argument, and then I will copy and paste it into my draft outline to help me do that. So this is where I'm going to be pasting my draft outline. So I generally start with the introduction, because is usually especially with my introductions, I sometimes get my introduction from the introduction of the articles itself. So because this is, I'm just trying to show you guys what I do. I'm not going to do a very detailed work of this. So let's say I find this sentence to be very interesting, and then I'll copy the text. I will go back here and then I will paste it, right? Let's say I go into the other paper. This is the second one that I want to, the other paper that I have. Let's go in here and see what it's saying about some description of COVID. And let's say I take the sentence, I like the sentence, and I want it to be a part of my essay. I will copy this and put it here, and then I go into the third paper, and let's see, I also copy this one as well. Or maybe not. Let's say I copy the second sentence from this. I will copy it and put it here. Sorry, paste. And then I go into the fourth paper, and let's say I just decide to take this bit, this part of it, and I will put it here. I'm now taking, I have to reference every paper that I got my information from. So the first sentence, I got it from this article, and this article is, I want to see the reference of the article. I'm sorry, let me pull it out. The reference of the article is, generally like to get my reference from here, from Google Scholar. Google Scholar does a really good job of pulling up the references without having to. So it says cites, and this is the citation for APA. Copy that, and I will put it down here for my bibliography. And so this is, I'm going to cite them. This is them et al. 2020. So I've cited that bit, and I've included it in the bibliography just to be on the safe side so that I don't lose it. I generally prefer to add my citations before I begin redrafting it, so that this way I don't lose sight of where it is that I got the article from. Then the second sentence came from the second article, and which is this one. And I am going to also pull up the reference from um, Google Scholar as well. It usually does a pretty good job for me when it comes to getting this. So this AP, get that copied, go back into my uh, drafts, and that is that. And I will cite that. So this is 2021. And my third sentence came from the third paper. Uh, and this is, let me pull up the citation as well for it. Back to Google Scholar, search, copy, and here we go. And this is, let's see, 2020. And then the fourth sentence came from this fourth paper. And once again, do the same thing. Go into Google Scholar, put it up, pull up the citation, search, and select. And that's that. So I will add the fourth paper to it. Before I do that, I want to paste the. So that would be, sorry, let me do the last one. 2018. So now I have my, let's say this, I'm making this my introduction, and now I need to rewrite it. The reason I need to rewrite it is because those are not my information. I got this from a source. Now that I've finished writing, I've finished putting the citation, I have to rewrite this to make it my own so that it helps me make sense of it, so that it's not more like a copy and paste. I have actually done something here. So this is the first sentence, and I want to rewrite it. So I can check the impact of COVID-19. Let's say I don't want to include the information about less known. I just want to put back the impact of COVID-19 was felt on the daily lives and psychology of children. This is according to the 2020 article, uh, Lim et al. That's high where sorry that highlighted. Let's see, highlighted the impact of COVID-19 on vulnerable on a vulnerable population group of children, i.e., children with autism spectrum disorder. So now I have that first sentence. I have uh, I have kind of rewritten it and made it my own, while still giving the authors their own fair credits to it. So basically, this is the first sentence I have rewritten and kind of put it in such a way whereby the main information from where I got it from is still there, but I've also kind of changed it up a little bit, put in my own voice while still retaining the information that is in it. So I did the very minimum rewriting here because of time. Usually, doing this process takes time. I'm having to make sure that I selected the right sentences that fit in, and I'm able to rewrite it in such a way whereby it's like the sentence structure is 90% mine and not where it's mainly from the original source. So, but this is just a very simple way of, how I do my cheats is basically a long and short of my cheats sheet. So, but like the last part of the cheat sheet that says rewrite everything I pasted. So I rewrite and rewrite. So this sentence can be I can rewrite it a couple of times, 2 to 3 times. But the more I rewrite it, the more I make it my own rather than it being a copy and paste, because you can tell a grader, your reader can tell what is written in your own voice versus what is was mainly copy and paste, because when you're copying and pasting from different sources, it's very, very disjointed, and someone who is reading it can tell that you what you basically did was a copy and paste. So the way to take care of that is by rewriting as often as possible until you have a sentence or have a paper that makes sense. So I hope this helps when it comes to drafting your essay, and it makes it a little bit easier for you. All right, do have a lovely day. Bye.